Have a look, everybody. Here is a very rare sight. It's a 4-door white EV, and it's not a Tesla Model 3. Hey, go figure. Those things are everywhere. This is the new BMW i4. This is the eDrive40. And you know, after driving it for the last week, hey, there's a little bit of a spoiler alert. I love this vehicle, and I'd have no problem having this in the driveway instead of a Model 3. In fact, it's actually even cheaper depending on where you live. So what do we know about this i4 eDrive40? Well, it's based on the popular 4 Series Grand Coupe. So yeah, it's kind of confusing that the even numbers, the 4 Series is normally reserved for 2 doors, but the Grand Coupe has 4 doors. It has a rear hatch. I love the hatch design. You can fit a lot of stuff in here. As you can see, this is a mid-range, over 50 kilometer an hour electric scooter in the back. I get Costco goods in there. It's a huge opening, easy to load things in and out of. So big bonus there. Of course, the front has that kidney-shaped grille, but there is no actual openings for that. What do you think about the design? Some people like it, some people don't. I've gotten used to it. I don't mind it whatsoever. Standard are 18-inch wheels. This has the optional 19-inch wheels. They look good. However, if you go to the 18-inch, you get a little bit more range. You do narrow that range down a little bit with larger tires. So the range on this is up to 482 kilometers. Of course, that's going to depend how you drive, the temperature outside, if you have hills, all of that stuff, and probably an eco range. So that's about 300 miles, which is pretty good range, considering this is not a full EV platform. For instance, this is a shared platform with the gas engine as well. And where you'll notice that is a fairly large hump in the rear for the driveline, which is not there anymore. I'm sure they've put batteries up that center part as well. And also, there is actually no frunk here as well. So if you want extra storage for a frunk, you're not going to get that with the i4. I think this is a great no compromise EV though. I'm a fan of the 3 Series Coupe, that's what I had, which is now the 4 Series. So I love the look and the size of a 3 or 4 Series, and having it electrified just really makes a big difference. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a personal story. Currently, right now, unfortunately, my dad has some medical issues. He's in the hospital, and it's about over 40 kilometers away each way. And since then, you know, I've been traveling to and from the hospital every chance that I get, and it's so nice to not have to burn gasoline and drive an electric car, you know, to and from, because the prices are just so outrageous for fuel right now. Of course, if the fuel was expensive, I would still do it. It would just hurt a little bit more. And this way, it's just like, hey, if I can just get out for a quick visit and just come back, it's no problem. Anyways, back to this vehicle. So the i440 is only a rear-wheel drive vehicle. So you have 335 horsepower, very similar to the gas twin scroll turbo that I had, and 317 pound-feet of torque. So not quite as much torque. So we're doing 100 kilometers an hour right now. We're on the freeway. The traffic's moving pretty good. We have different drive modes. We have Eco Pro, we have Comfort, we have Sport. You push that throttle down, you get a pretty decent pickup at that speed as well. Of course, if we weren't going as fast, you would actually have more of an acceleration feel to that. 0 to 60 on here, 5.5 seconds. If that isn't enough for you, you can go into the M50 version of the i4. So that is all-wheel drive, and that's going to launch you to 60 miles an hour in just 3.7 seconds. I've heard of people even shaving 0.2 of a second off of that. So that's a very, very, very quick car. Underneath, you have an 83.9 kilowatt hour battery, and it'll charge up to 150 kilowatts. So if you have a very, very quick DC fast charger in your area or on your travels, you could add 100 kilometers of range in as low as 7 minutes. That's pretty quick, you know, for a quick, short thing. But if you go just have a level 2 charger, you can go overnight, basically 8 hours, you can go and charge it right up. And that's usually what most people do. By the way, it comes with a dual charger. So you have a 110 and a 240 plug that comes onto this BMW wall charger. And that's a big bonus that it comes with it, because to buy one of these chargers, you know, it's anywhere from $700 to $1,000. So that's a little bit of added bonus for this. On the inside, the biggest difference, of course, is this big, long, curved screen at the front. It is actually comprised of 2 screens. You get a 12.3-inch driver's cockpit, and then beside it, you have a 14.9-inch screen. You have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, wireless, and you also have eDrive40 as the operating system, which is the latest one. It's really, really quick. I hit home, there it is, I can swipe. There is literally no delay whatsoever. Whatever I choose, we go to menu right there, it comes up. We got the nice BMW seats. I love the BMW seats. You do have the extendable thigh support as well. Now this is equipped with a premium enhanced package. So you get the enhanced package, and it's basically the top package that you get, and it's an additional $13,000, but with that you get things like comfort access. You also get the head-up display, the 360 camera, which is a big bonus, looks really good, very, very clear on this display here. You get the galvanic controls, and what that is all of your switchgear is in silver, a brushed look. Looks very, very high end, and BMW has just done a really good job. You know, they use as many recycled materials as they can, whether it's the seats or any of the trim. This really looks and feels like a traditional BMW interior, other than that large curved screen. In the back, you get the same amount of room as the regular 4 Series. Have the kids back there, no complaints whatsoever. Suspension wise, we got standard rear air suspension on this. This does not have adaptive suspension, but it is available if you go for the M Sport Professional package. And what's nice about that package is only $1,500, so it's not going to break the bank if you do want that adaptive suspension. But being that this is an electric car, batteries are not light. So this is about 900 pounds heavier than its gas counterpart. But the nice thing about batteries and electric cars is usually they're slung very low in the platform, which gives you a very, very low center of gravity and a very planted feel when you're actually going and doing some cornering for this vehicle. The i4 also has varying degrees of regen braking that you can set. And one thing I like, which I don't like one pedal driving, but if you do like it, you just hit that gear selector, hit it to the left, and all of a sudden I can feel the resistance. I'm gonna let off, and you have a lot of regen braking happening, and this is true one pedal driving. I'm gonna take my foot off the pedal, and we will eventually come to a stop. Just like that. Complete one pedal driving. We're completely stopped. Let's go again. Ooh. You hear that sound as well? That is the optional sound that you can turn on or off. And it sounds pretty good. Is it as good as the Mach-E GT that we just tested? I don't think so. It's a little bit on the futuristic side for me, but it's not annoying, that's for sure. I do have it on most of the time. And depending on what drive mode, if I go into comfort mode, it's still there, but a lot quieter, much quieter. It's very fun to drive though. I can't believe how well this handles, and that's because we're driving a car once again. We just drive so many SUVs nowadays, and every time you pop into a car, you're like, yeah, doesn't matter what car it is really, but when you have an electric car, nice low center of gravity and decent amount of power, you can't go wrong. The brakes on this i4 are excellent, by the way, in terms of progression. considering that there's probably some regen happening there, and it's completely seamless. It just feels like you are driving just regular friction brakes. We are in sport mode though. Let me just put it to comfort, to maybe that might change a little bit. Nope, still really, really good. Very, very manageable and progressive. There definitely aren't many things that I don't like about the i4, but if I wanted to nitpick, it'd probably be the one thing is that this does not come with standard adaptive cruise control. Now, this one, as tested with all the options and packages and different wheels it has on it, this comes up to $71,000. And for a $71,000 vehicle, it should have standard adaptive cruise control. Can you get it? Yes, you can. It's in another package. It's not expensive, but you still have to pay for it, and I wish that it was free. Today we're doing something a little bit different. Okay, so it's a different day, as you can see. Weather's a little bit different, wearing different clothes. I had already filmed my closing thoughts on the i4 a few days ago, and I've scrapped it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's like 3 or 4 days later now. It's about time to return the i4, and I just didn't think that I expressed it well enough in that closing how much I like this vehicle. I really like this i4, like extremely, extremely like it. And I think BMW has done a great job. I've owned 3 BMWs. My favorite car of all time that I've owned, and regardless if it's a BMW or not, was my 2008 BMW 335 Xi Coupe with a 6-speed manual. That thing, I love that car. I still wish I had it. But even my X3s that I had, one thing that BMW has, they really have great driving dynamics, amazing road feel, and that's the big appeal of BMW, is that it's not just all power, it's how it drives, how it feels, and the fit and finish. And regardless if this i4 is an EV or not, this is still through and throughout a BMW, hands down. In fact, if I was in the market for a 4 Series BMW, other than if I wanted the top performance, I would get the M4, which, by the way, we will be testing next week, so make sure to tune in for that. But the non-performance M4, I would actually choose this over the 2 other gas variants. I think it fits really nicely in the middle. I think we mentioned that earlier as well. It has more power than the turbo 4-cylinder. It has a little less power than that M440. However, it's fully electric. And here's the best thing. Price-wise, this comes in at under $55,000, which is the magic number, at least in Canada it is, because now it qualifies for the federal incentive. So you get $5,000 off there. Plus, depending on what province you live in, you can get additional incentives. In British Columbia, on the West Coast here, we get $3,000 for that. So that's a total of $8,000. Different provinces like Quebec, you'll even get more off of that. So, hey, $8,000 is nothing to sneeze at. So $55,000, this does get, can get more expensive if you add on, that premium package and lots of the options. This one, as tested, comes out to $71,000. But then knock off $8,000 off of that, so it brings it into the 60s, which is, you know what? When I bought my 2008 335, that was at that time was $62,000. That was 2008, and so if you compare that to this, it's it's the same price, except you're getting a fully electric car. You're getting the same amount of power. This one actually has more utility than what I had with my coupe. That was only a 2-door, but you got 4 doors. You get that power hatch as well. Lots of utility, and the fit and finish, really, a lot of people have asked me, how does it compare to the Tesla Model 3? Of course, styling is subjective, but I really think, and I really like having an instrument panel or instrument cluster. So having that 12.3 inch display there is awesome. You get the head-up display, which is great. And this new eDrive40 is, it's very, very quick. It's lightning quick. There's no delay. Sure, you cannot watch Netflix on it. You can't play games on it, and this vehicle will not fart when you hit the horn. And hey, nothing to knock against Tesla, not just those things. Tesla is a very cool product, but I think there's no comparison for the interior wise for both vehicles. I think this is just a much nicer interior than you'll ever get in a Tesla Model 3 or a Model Y, for that matter. BMW always likes to underrate, their performance numbers as well, and this feels plenty quick. You won't have any issue with this. And the nice thing about it too is that if you're driving this vehicle, you're gonna feel like you're driving something a little bit more different, opposed to all of those other white Tesla Model 3s that you see on the road. And what's surprising to me is I don't think that a lot of people are talking about the i4, which they should be. This is a contender, ladies and gentlemen. Like, if you're thinking about an electric car, this has to be on your list. It really, really does. Now, the only thing that's going to come down to it possibly, or one big factor, is if you're comparing this, let's say, with the Model 3, which one can you get? Which one is accessible? And that may be an issue. I don't know what the quantities are like and how long of a waiting list it is to get one of these i4s. But if you're interested in one and your dealer has one to test drive, go test one out. If you like it, put a deposit down. They're all refundable anyways. And yeah, I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. What do you think of this new i4 and all of the new BMW products, especially that iX as well? I really, really like that. But anyways, I think they did a great job, and yeah, see you in the next review. Cheers.